Welcome, college basketball fans, to the Full Court Press Podcast with LT and Sammy D. This is the podcast that brings you legendary stories from college basketball's golden era and dives in deep with a current analysis of today's game. Get ready for the most energetic and entertaining college basketball podcast around. Let's get it.
Hello and welcome to another Full Court Press, a college basketball coaches show. I am Luke Taylor, and we got Sam Davidson, and we got this guy. And I'm curious what he's up to because it seems like he's really not doing anything in La La Land, aka Logan, Utah. But I want to welcome back Utah State head coach Coach Calhoun. How about them Cavaliers, Coach?
Playing well, man. I tell you, them and the Celtics are off to an unbelievable start. Those have been some great games. And
well, you got to bring in the Celtics, Coach. You always got to bring in the Celtics. But here's the thing. Those two teams ain't got nothing on you because you're 9-0.
Yeah, we're off to a good start. I told Sam Merrill the other day, former Aggie, plays for the Cavs. He texts me from time to time, and great guy, great supporter of our program. I tell him, I said, it's Celtics 1, but Cavs are a very, very close second. But yeah, Cleveland's rolling, man. They're doing a lot better than my Browns. I can tell you that.
Okay, this is a college basketball. If you want to talk about heartbreak and defeat, we can start a Cleveland Browns podcast.
Yeah, there's some out there. We can talk hoops.
Yeah, it's probably a thing. So, well, welcome back, Coach.
Well, thanks for having me, man. Excited to be on here with you guys.
Yeah. So, Coach, 9-0 start. You're going into this weekend with the chance to make program history at 10-0.
No pressure.
I don't think Coach of the play. I mean, they don't play like there's any pressure. They play like they're having fun out there, and that's what I want to talk about. Like, I mean, what's the mood in the locker room and at practice? That's making these guys click so early in the season.
Yeah, I think our guys have done an unbelievable job of just worrying about the process that goes into winning. I think a lot of young people get caught up in, what the future is going to look like. They're kind of scared of their future, and they just look at results, right? And our guys have been very grounded. They're very connected. It's a fun group to coach. I got a great locker room. They put the team over themselves. We have a we over me mentality. And that's all facets of our program. They find the open man. They communicate on defense. We've been good on both sides of the ball. And I think when you're very process oriented, good results will come. So we got to have good 2 days of prep. And of course, we're not shying away from having a chance to make school history. This program is a storied program. There's been great coaches, but just unbelievable players. And we got a good opportunity Saturday against a good South Florida team. Every game, adds to your resume, and it's not going to be an easy game.
Yeah. So how weird was it looking down the sidelines a couple days ago and seeing Sundance Wicks?
Very strange, to be honest with you. I really like Coach Wicks. Tremendous
right.
coach.
Yep.
Got a lot of passion. He and I are good friends. I thought it was a great hire. And it's just kind of strange that we're both in the same conference now, coaching against each other. First conference game of all the teams that we could play. To see him come out, shake my hand. It's kind of wild. But I'm not surprised with his success. Wyoming's a good team, and that was a great game.
Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about Logan, Utah. It's always been on my radar as like one of the most underrated college basketball cities, towns, whatever we want to call it, right? Just the atmosphere and the fans there. With your first year here in the first couple months, was that surprising to you, just how much support you've received there?
No, not really. I mean, I think that was a big part of me wanting this job so bad. I was involved with a couple other things, but this is the one I thought it's just a special place. First and foremost, it's just an unbelievable community. We are surrounded by beautiful mountains. They love the Aggies. It's a college town. and not just men's basketball, but all of our sports. And it's a great place to raise a family. You know, I have 3 little girls, 5, 8, and 10. We've really got acclimated with the community. We go to girls' high school basketball games. We go to all the sporting events here for the Aggies. You know, it's a beautiful place. And then as far as the game day atmosphere, I think it's one of the best, if not the best in the country. I personally go over every game hour and 15 minutes before just to see the students run into the building. Our student section, the herd, is second to none. They're very, very passionate about basketball in this state. And I think it's only going to get better. You know, now we move into the Pac-12 with the likes of Gonzaga and some of these great Mountain West teams that have joined us, Washington State, Oregon State. It's really an exciting time to be here in Logan. And I'm very, very grateful for this opportunity and love the place.
Yeah. And you know what? You're giving the student section and fans kind of what they want. I mean, if I saw you in the flesh a couple of times last year at Youngstown State, but it's not surprising. You're 9th overall in points per game scored, 87.6, tied for 39th field goal percentage, tied for, 49th for rebounds, tied for 32 for assists. You know, I'm a little bit concerned about one stat, but we'll talk about that in the shot clock section. But, you know, I mean, is your style what you had before and always kind of known for, kind of translated well to Utah State basketball in the Mountain West?
Yeah, you know, Luke, those are all great, great areas that we have to be good in, right? And I think the great part so far is I don't even think we've played that well collectively, offensively. We've had some good individual performances from Mason Falslev, from Ian Martinez, Carson Templin, Dexter Akano, Alban Gadaretsky, but, other guys as well. But we're still figuring each other out. So I think the ceiling for this team is really, really high. Offensively, we've always wanted to play a style that's going to attract players that want to play in our system. To me, kids care about scoring. They care about offense. Fans want to see the ball go in the basket. I would not pick a school if I was coming out of the transfer portal or high school where it's a slow down type of system. You don't see that in professional basketball, whether it's the NBA or overseas. So one of the things I've tried to do is study trends and how the game's being played and make sure that I'm up to date on how we want to play. These kids have been unbelievable to coach. They process the information. They carry out the information. We've been a team historically that's always valued the ball. We got to continue to do better in that aspect. The last 3 games, we've been a little bit sloppy. But it's just, getting guys to understand each possession is going to be different. You got to take what the defense can give you. You got to help train their eyes, help them see the game, and then get out of the way, right? Just give them confidence to take and make shots. And that's, to me, what offense is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you mentioned a couple of the guys. I want you to go into like Ian Martinez a little bit more. 5th year guard, leading the Mountain West right now in points, free throw percentage, free throws, 3rd in 3-pointers, 4th in assist to turnover ratio. I mean, it seems like I don't want to call it a breakout year because everyone knew how good he was, but it seems like he's just setting himself up for an incredible rest of the year. Can you talk a little bit about the work he's doing, kind of that we don't get to see?
Yeah, he's just a tremendous person, tremendous player. He could have went in the portal and left. I think he really, really loved his time last year in Utah. Andy Hill and Coach Sprinkle brought him here last year, and he's a tremendous player. We met with him immediately, like all the players, and kind of shared our vision of, where we see him fitting in. And he was a guy that really believed in our system and our staff. And, the thing that I'm most proud of, Luke, and Sammy, is his assist to turnover. If you look at 30 assists, 12 turnovers, his entire career, he's had a negative assist to turnover ratio just by 4. I think he's 151 to 155 for his career. That's the first thing I talked to him about, is being a more efficient player. And he took that to heart, and he's really improved all categories and his defense. So yeah. I think he's one of the biggest kept secrets in the country. I think him and Mason Falslev are having All-American type seasons so far.
Yeah, Mason Falslev, 16.3, 6.1. So I really like your schedule. As a basketball, considered both of us basketball purists, You beat Iowa, who's much improved this year. They're a really nice team. St. Bonaventure, I mean, you're familiar with them just being from the Midwest or Northeast per se. Coach Schmidt does a great job with the Bonnies. And then you beat University of North Texas, which is like Coach Hodge is going to suck you dry with defense. I mean, methodical, like just bleed you to death. But I'm a little bit, I mean, this is crazy. You're coming up to the gauntlet pretty soon. And I don't want to bypass Saturday's game. But at St. Mary's, at San Diego State, and freaking at Nevada, watch out for the bats, Coach. I mean, that is going to be kind of a telling sign for where you guys are at, wouldn't you think? I mean, those are three really good programs, teams, coaches, environments. I mean, and I think you guys are going to be ready.
Yeah, I mean, Luke, we can't run away from it. We got to run toward it. It starts Saturday. We play UC San Diego Tuesday. Those are our last two home games. I think South Florida is the best 5-4 team in the country. They've played real teams. They've been right there. They almost knocked off Loyola Chicago. UC San Diego almost beat San Diego State. That was a 5-point game. So we've got two very, very important home games. And then we go back into league play. But before that, right before the holiday, we play a storied program. And Coach Bennett, I have a ton of respect for him. I've stole a lot of his stuff over the years at St. Mary's, the way they play offense. So the next 5 games are certainly going to be a challenge. But we got to run right toward it. We got to take it on, and we got to play good basketball on both sides. And if we do that, we'll give ourselves a chance to have a great resume.
Yeah, and South Florida, I mean, they're a deadly team right now. I mean, just what they've gone on with the Hurricane, the passion of Coach Amir, who's been a frequent guest. They've got a really good basketball team. So, I mean, you got 5 really good games coming up. And, the Mountain West, I mean, what can you kind of say about the Mountain West? I mean, I know it's your first year. You've played 1 game against the Wyoming Cowboys. What are you kind of seeing or hearing or feeling about the Mountain West Conference this year?
Yeah, excited about it. Certainly have seen every team play, on TV. I've studied all these teams in the off season. I think that thing that really stands out to me is there's really, really great coaches. We've got a lot of unbelievable coaches in this league that have had success, not only in this league, but, in other leagues. They've got great programs, great tradition, great fan bases. And we got to finish up, the next week, 10 days really strong as a league. All of us got to do our part and, win games, because once you get into conference play, we're all going to beat each other up, right? I mean, every game is critical, but as a group in the non-league, we want to make sure all of us finish strong. And I'm pretty confident it's going to be a multi-bid league, right? Like the goal is to get tons of bids like last year. And right now, I think we're in a place probably not as good as last year. I think we have 3 teams inside the top 50 in Ken Palm and those metrics. So I root for them every night, Luke. I want them to win every game, all of them.
Yeah. Yeah. How much do you look at kind of metrics in Ken Palm? I mean, what does that, I guess, mean to you?
Yeah, I look at analytics every day. I look at not only where we are statistically, where we are, practice stats, but also I study the country and figure out where we can be better, where we sit right now, strength of schedule, you name it, lineup data. It's a constant study in all aspects of the program. But yeah, I look at that stuff daily.
Okay. You got anything, Sam? You're just going to sit there quietly? You want me to just?
I'm letting you guys talk.
Sam's thinking about what he's going to eat for breakfast here. He just got out of bed.
I'm a little hungry. I was just going to ask, like,
here in Logan.
Yeah, right. So you guys are now receiving votes in the AP and the USA Today coaches poll. Nothing new for Utah State, right? But it is new to some of the guys and some of the coaches and stuff like that. To start seeing some of these votes with programs that they're a part of. Is that part of any of the conversation with where you guys want to be and like the kind of pride that goes with that locker room talk?
Not necessarily, Sammy. I mean, those are just people's opinions. Those aren't real numbers. Those aren't real facts. Those are, sports writers that how many games have they watched? They're crossing over. A lot of them are.
Coach, you should be on Twitter more.
Yeah,
No, stay off. Trust me.
The other thing is a lot of those guys cover college football, right? So
Yeah.
how many have really studied the teams and really watched it? So it's like the preseason poll. I mean, I went to the media day and I couldn't figure out who voted for this. It wasn't the coaches. And they said, well, how do you feel about being 6th in the league? And I said, well, who voted? And nobody could tell me. So I don't really worry about it too much.
I mean, Gloria Navarez, when we had her on the show, she was drinking out a Nevada coffee cup. I wonder if they were picked number 1.
Interesting.
She said she'd drink out of any coffee mug that was sent to her, though. So I'm sure she's got one of every team.
I'm going to send her one. She's been great to me, so I'm going to send her one.
Excellent. Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
LT, you think Coach Calhoun's ready?
I want to ask one question before we go to. Sorry to rudely cut you off. And thanks for that. I like that question, Sam. That was very thoughtful. I mean, I felt like you were deep in thought. But, Coach, now that you're in the Mountain West time zone, what are you watching late night when you're maybe your wife and your kids are in bed? Because we talked about when you're in Youngstown and I'm in Akron, you would watch Mountain West basketball. What are you watching now?
You know what I do now? So I have a little bit of a routine. So my kids will go down about 8:30 or 9. Typically, I'll watch a little tape of our practice, right? I'll clean some of that stuff up. And then I record a lot of games. So, before back east, you'd be up watching those games, right? Mm-hmm. So I'll watch some of, recorded games. Usually it's been games. And then, on Sundays, it's certainly Yellowstone for sure. That's about it. I need some other
Any teams you watch in particular?
Yeah, I watch quite a few of Gonzaga's games. I watch all the Cavs, all the Celtics. I would say those 3 teams. I really like Danny Hurley's off-ball screening actions. I like to watch them do that. That's about it, honestly. And then I try to watch every team in our league. If they're playing, I'm getting eyes on those guys as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Sammy, he said he liked Danny Hurley's sidelines antics.
Actions.
I mean, I don't know. I don't want to get into.
I don't know how you can fault a 2-time national champion. So
that's the problem. They lost a couple games. It's like, do you think he's really concerned? Like Sam and I talked about this. Do you think they're really concerned in stores that they lost 3 games and then they go and beat up on Baylor at home without their best player and National Player of the Year candidate? I mean, you know how it is. I mean, you're playing for the long season, the long run, not the each game. Which, let's talk more about social media, Coach. Tell us how you really feel.
No, I would never count out Coach Hurley. I mean, what he's done is just incredible. I mean, his teams can really, really play. So,
oh my God, and the players love him.
Yep.
I mean, we have a clip that I put up on social media. I mean, he's literally headbutting the player, and the player's loving it.
Yeah,
I mean, you know how it is.
St. Mary's, yeah. And I watch a lot of them because I think they have great stuff.
Yeah. All right, Sam, you can go back to what you're asking. I apologize.
No, I got one more question just because, we've talked about the Celtics a little bit. And we know you have a close relationship with Coach Joe Mazzulla. Has he reached out to you since your undefeated start so far?
Yeah. We text all the time. I guess they said I won 250 games. I didn't even know it after one of the games.
250 after you went against Wyoming.
Is that what it was? Yeah. And you were part of a lot of those wins at Fairmont State, So, really as you get a little bit older, you remember more of the losses than the wins. Each season kind of runs together, but it was neat. Like in Orlando, I got to see some of my former players. They were down there. Some of them live in Florida. And, that's really what this is about, just the relationships. And, I've never been closer with the group of guys. That's why I just love my team. I just love these kids and our culture here. And it's just been a great start of a season.
Yeah.
Love it. All right, LT, let's get into the shot clock here. Coach, LT is going to fire off a few questions.
He knows what's going to happen. He's
quick little one-hitters. Let's get to it, LT.
Yeah, before I just want to make a statement. Did you offer to the number 1 high school player that he's going to BYU $7.1 million? $7 million and $1.
That is not correct, Luke.
Yeah. He's going to be 36 and still in college the way it's going if they're going to pay me that. So, all right, let's get to the real stuff here. Now that you've been in Utah State for a handful of months, one word to describe Utah State.
Beautiful.
Okay. One word to describe Sundance Wicks.
Energy.
Ooh. The one arena you're looking forward to coaching in the Mountain West.
San Diego State.
Ooh, that's gonna be fun. Would you say your student section, you'd put them up against San Diego State student section?
Oh, I think we're number one.
Ooh, I like it. I
agree.
The best advice you can give a young coach going through coaching right now after being undefeated.
Worry about the process.
Okay. I like that. Best college game day atmosphere so far this year. What's one game that stands out?
I'd say our Wyoming game.
Okay. Who leads the league, the conference? Okay, this is where I'm a little bit concerned. So as a successful 3rd and 5th grade CYO coach, I'm going to give you some advice here, but who leads your conference in team fouls? Who's the number one fouling team in your conference?
Wyoming.
How many fouls do you think they're giving a game?
I had this last week, but I can't remember.
19.9.
Yeah.
The hell is Sundance doing in Laramie or Laradice? Sorry, Coach Rice doesn't like me calling it Laradice, but what's going on there?
A lot of fouls, Sundance.
Getting physical.
Can you imagine the ones that haven't been called too? All right, who fouls the least in your conference?
I'm going to say Air Force.
Boise State, 14.4.
Should have known that. Yep.
Yeah. Where are you guys? What number are you in conference?
We foul, I would say kind of middle.
9th.
Yep.
Yeah, you got to pick it up. So what I will tell you, some coaching advice is try to get as many people to foul at one time so that way they feel it. Whether you get called or not, they can only call one foul.
Those are some good stats. I like those.
I know we get some random stuff. So the last question I want to ask you, if I remember, this is kind of bad. So one of the girls' tennis teams when I was in college, they had a song, and I think it was Spice Girls. Hopefully you don't pick Spice Girls. If you had a song for your first year at Utah State, what would it be? I know it'd be country, but what would it be?
Yeah, it would definitely be country. Probably something with Luke Combs or Jason Aldean or Morgan Wallen. I don't know what song. I listen to a ton of country, but it'd be a country song.
Yeah. So you got nothing. You won nothing. Hopefully we talk again. But Coach, I appreciate it. Foul more. Just try to foul more. It might help your stats.
I'm gonna tell our guys that today. That's a great. I learned something today.
Nice. Coach, we're going to turn over the last minute of the episode to you. If there's anything you want to share to the Utah State, Logan community, the herd, anything you need them to do leading up to Saturday's game here.
No, I think, obviously so happy with where we're at with the support. I think the herd has just brought it every game. It's a magical place, great tradition. I think it's only going to get better. A lot of momentum heading into the Pac-12, a lot of commitment. Excited to be here. And, it's been a great journey so far.
Yeah. Love it. Yeah. Well, Coach, you're going to stick on for one more second. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review to the Full Court network of shows. Subscribe, rate, and review also the Full Court Press and College Basketball Weekly. And we appreciate Coach Calhoun. Check out the Utah State Aggies. I almost called you the Utes as a joke, but that's not that funny. As my kids and wife can protest, I'm not that funny. So don't forget, we'll be back next week on another Full Court Press, a college basketball coaches show.